Testing. Testing. Nasada, do you read? It's me, Gazbot. I'm trying to reach TJ and the Power Rangers in space. They're aboard the Astro Megaship? I see. Hey, it's me, Gazbot. I'm here for another 15-minute Sketcherino, semi-live in the sense that I am recording it live and I don't stop or edit unless something out of my control happens, but not live in the sense that it is recorded and you're seeing it after the fact. Now, usually I ask for requests and I keep it somewhat wide open. This time, though, this is the Power Morphicon exclusive set, meaning that Power Morphicon, which is a Power Ranger Super Sentai con that they have every 2 years down in Pasadena, California, which I recently went to for the first time. My request was it had to be a character that appeared at the con. And I had less suggestions than usual, probably because I made it such a narrow field. But I did get a few, and the one, I'll tell you the few that all of them were good, actually. I would have been happy with any of these. There was Lord Zed, which I came really close to doing because that would be the easiest for me because he's sort of a cyborg monster face, but I didn't want to be too easy on myself, so I skipped it at least this time. That was the Robot Assassin. Victor Perfecto said the Ryu Ranger from Die Ranger, helmet off, which is even trickier. Then Tony Fucus Quantum Ranger, which is a fun, again, it'd be a fun design. Haven't actually watched Time Force though, or Time Ranger, so boo me. That's the next season I'm up to. I'm only about halfway through Lightspeed Rescue right now. And then the one which I shouldn't do because it's my buddy Alex. He asked for Selwyn Ward, and I'm doing it more for me than for him. Selwyn Ward played TJ on Turbo and in Space, and then later again he reprised the role in Super Mega Force. He was the Red Turbo Ranger and the Blue in Space Ranger, and that is who we're going to be doing today. I'm going to try to do a face picture, and then if I have time, maybe I'll throw in his helmet. As I've said before, when I did Luke, I'm not great at likenesses, and I'm not going. Even though we said Selwyn Ward, I'm doing TJ. I'm not doing Selwyn Ward. I'm doing the character of TJ as he appeared on Power Rangers in Space, whatever it was, 17 years ago, 18 years ago now, and that's what I'm going for. I have a reference still shot from the show up, and oh, I need to set my timer. I always forget to set my timer. Okay, now we're going 15 minutes on the clock, begin. And he gets silent immediately. So, for those that don't know, Power Rangers is the American version of Super Sentai. Started, I think, in 1993 was the first season, and that was Mighty Morphin, which went for 3 seasons before it changed to Zeo. Now, even though it was 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin, it went through some permutations where their powers changed, their Zords changed. Tommy the the Green Ranger turned into Tommy the White Ranger, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's because it's all based on Sentai footage, and they change teams every year. So we were the suits were very popular here, but then they changed there, so we had to kind of make do. And eventually Saban, who owned the rights at that time, and then lost them. Well, not lost them, sold them, and then got them back again. Eventually started changing the team more readily as far as the suits and stuff. So when it went to Zeo, everybody changed to O-Ranger footage, and when then it changed to Car Ranger, which is Turbo, and then about halfway through Turbo, there had been some cast changes that had evolved over time for various reasons, but when it came to Turbo, but halfway through the season, the entire cast except for one, Justin the Kid, changed for I'm sure various behind the scenes reasons that I don't completely know. And at first it was a bummer because Tommy and Adam and a lot of our old favors were leaving. And we got this whole new cast again, with the exception of Justin. But little did I realize, that Selwyn Ward was coming. Ha ha! Selwyn Ward, Mr. TJ. TJ became the Red Turbo Ranger, the leader, the first black leader of the Power Rangers. First black leader of the Power Rangers. That's a nod to Andre, the Black Nerd comedy. That is not something I created, but I endorse it. And then later, when they went to In Space, Justin then stayed behind because he was a kid, so that makes sense. And Andros became, this is all spoilers, sorry if you haven't seen it. Andros became the leader of the Red leader, the Red, which is always the leader of the In-Space Rangers, and Selwyn T.J. Ward became Blue, which at first kind of bummed me out because I liked him as the leader. I thought he was one of the more level-headed leaders, and he saw the good in Bulk and Skull, and there was just a lot of things about him I liked. And he was blue, but I maintain that he was not only the first black leader of the Power Rangers, but the first blue leader of the Power Rangers because he did indeed have. He seemed to like he was already leading that team, and Andros wasn't even interested in having a team, and he was worried about his sister and all this other stuff. And Selwyn, kind of TJ, sort of took care of the human side of things, and he also had some really awesome plans. And so people, said, who do you like? I'm better as Red or Blue. And I like him as Red because he was the unqualified, not unqualified, without qualification, he was the leader. And I don't mean that to say he was not qualified. I mean there was no asterisk next to his name. Whereas I feel like in space, he sort of was the leader, although he wasn't the leader. But I did like the stuff that happened with him in space better. He had some cool plans. He had better character development. I also like the costumes that I'm drawing him kind of with the in space costume, which I've never done before. So that's also something I'm figuring out. It's got like logos and patches because it's a spacesuit. It's weird though because uh, I think they got him from Andros on the Astro Mega ship. Just checking time, we're at 11 and a half minutes left. Even though they had launched from Masada, they had kind of their ripped up clothes from Turbo. Oh, that was weird what I did with his teeth right there. Um, which implies that the Astro Mega ship and Andros are part of some bigger fleet or something, but we know they're not because it's the only ship. I mean, maybe it used to have a fleet before his planet got all messed up, I guess. There's the explanation. I just figured it out. All right, so I'm going to go down to 35. Normally I would do more layers, but like I said, I'm going to see if I could maybe get to, oh, I'm going to make that darker too. Make it a 75. See if I can maybe get to the uh, helmet, the Astro the Astro Mega helmet. The I want to say the Mega Ranger helmet because Mega Ranger was the Sentai, but it is the in space helmet. And as much as I like in space, I'm not a huge fan of the suits. I actually prefer the turbo suits. So I bought a Power Morphicon. I bought a chrome blue turbo figure. They only made blue and red because they came with the vehicles, which is a bummer because I love the chrome kind of metallic look that figures sometimes have. And yeah, I probably should have done a lighter. I skipped a step, guys, and I'm paying for it. This is why you don't skip steps. But anyway, I got it, and it's funny because TJ was never blue turbo. He was red turbo and blue in space. But I was like, yeah, cool. I got this cool metallic TJ figure, but it was Justin. I don't know. I'm just making an amalgam of the two. When he showed up in Super Mega Force as one of the legendary Rangers that came back years later for a cameo, he was blue in space, and some people were saying he should have been red turbo, which I'm not sure why, because he ended his career that we know of as blue in space. He came back again. These are all spoilers again, so if you haven't watched it, then stop listening. He came back again in Lost Galaxy, which was the season after in space, and he was, the Blue Ranger, Space Ranger. Um, and if I remember correctly, the powers were destroyed anyway. I guess it's because, yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know why they wanted to be red. That was like a less developed version of the character too. But I don't know. I guess maybe the leader thing, because like I like him as a leader too, but I just pretend he's a leader of in space and have it on the wrong eraser. It's tough. I feel like I'm making him look tougher than he is. Not that he's not tough, but he's not a tough guy. You know what I mean? He's more of a quiet commander than a running around screaming at people kind of guy. Well, as much as you could not scream at people in Power Rangers, I mean, half the direction is probably like, now say, ha! I have made a mistake. I should have just done the helmet. I'm trying to get a likeness of a person I've never drawn. And unlike when I did Old Man Luke, he doesn't have a beard to hide behind for me and like messy hair to make it super. Oh, wow, that eye is terrible. To make it super easy to pretend I got it right. How are we doing on time? Let's see. My timer went off 8 minutes. I am not doing good. I feel like I say that every time, and I mean it every time. Oh, and one thing, he has like a mole right here by his eye, so I want to make sure to get that. That's a pretty distinctive characteristic. He's got very narrow eyes. Pronounced cheekbone, strongo. His nose, I did that wrong. Yeah, anytime I try to get a likeness, it's a bad idea. I shouldn't have done this. I've made a mistake, but I'm committed to it now, and I'm halfway through, so. Good go-goes. Okay, nose, and yeah, it's looking not like the actor as much as I'd like. Although I even said it's not going to look like the actor, but still, it really doesn't look like the actor. All right. He's got a little bit of a, he's like going her, but he's got a little bit of a Elvis thing going there. Not, it's more like a, it's morphin time or something, but he's, what do you call that? Not a snarl, a sneer, which actually is not at all in his character. But I think it's just, maybe he's like, it's more like disgust. Like, I don't think so, not on my watch kind of thing. He's got a very strong chin and cheekbone kind of situation going on there. And I'm probably making him look older. I'll probably make drawing him to look like he looks now as opposed to how he looked back then. He's got very well groomed eyebrows. Those are his Selwyn eyebrows. Or I should say his TJ eyebrows. Although, yeah, whatever. He looks the same when he's not TJ, I suppose, in the eyebrow situation. All right, and once in it, his skull is very well defined. He has a shaved head, but he's also got like zero body fat and good facial structure, skull, whatever. Wow, yeah, I made him look much like tougher and more intense. I'm gonna go ahead and do something which I love digital for. I'm gonna grab this whole mouth area, boop a doop a doop boop, and just shrink it down. Because I feel like part of the problem is I made the mouth too big. That helps. It's not perfect, but it definitely helps make him look less like he's yelling at you and more like he's just saying, no, no. I'm also gonna cheat. See, I say cheat. This is the thing with digital. It's not, it is cheating in that it's easier and quicker, but I still have to make the decisions of what I'm going to do. I still had to decide, hey, I want to change this. Normally I'd have to erase it and redraw it. Instead, I just, select and rotate and move down. But if I didn't know what choices to make, it wouldn't matter. I mean, I kind of had a drawing to begin with and I'm altering it and it just makes it faster. All right. So he has a shaved head, but he's not bald. He's got, like kind of a hairline, sort of almost looks like it goes straight across here. It's really faint though, especially in this picture I'm looking at. So I'm kind of guessing a little bit based on, oh, that's a crooked looking line right there, isn't it? Wow, 5 minutes left. Okay, that helmet probably not happening, fellas and ladies and Easter Bunny watching me. And that head is also a bit off. He's got a little bit more out to his head. He's got more out to his head, everyone. Look, more out to his head. And I'll put more out to his head on this side too. Some people call it widening. I call it out to head. That's better. Okay, let me connect the top. And I think I need to bring in the chin a little bit. He does have a well-defined chin, but I think I went a little overboard. So similar to what I did with the mouth, I'm just gonna shrink it in. I probably should have done it in two pieces. Oh well. I don't want to make it shorter. I just want to bring the sides in. Yeah, it's better. I'm getting too bogged down in making it a likeness of him, which is exactly what I said I shouldn't do. And guess what? I'm doing it. And doing it well. Doing it, doing it, doing it well. Okay, let me turn off this layer. Blamp. All right, that's gonna have to be good enough because we've got less than 4 minutes left. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Why do I do this to myself? All right, I'm gonna get a little less precious with the suit and make some simplifications. He's got some buckles there, and then he's got a buckle on this side, and then a buckle on this side. I'm not getting these buckles exactly right, but enough that at a glance, kind of like a cosplay where it's like, that's basically right. And I never, oh, I guess I did notice, but like he's got a blue undershirt and turtleneck, which is kind of cool. Which I mean, I guess I must have noticed, but when I saw it, I'm like, hey, what a good idea. Whereas I never remember having that thought when I watched the show. All right, so he's got a patch. Also, this patch here is all the colors, just like they have their chest on the chest when they're in their morphed state. All right, bring that shoulder down a little bit. Actually, the picture I'm looking at now, I feel like maybe he's piloting because I just see him like this. I can't see the whole thing. And he's may have a patch here, so I'll just indicate some sort of patch. And then he's got this one, which is like a triangle with a swoop. Well, a pyramid, I should say, with a swoop. And then once again over here, this arm kind of laying into it. And this patch partially obscured because of his arm, but it's like the Lego space symbol. Okay, and we are, oh, my phone keeps turning off. 2 minutes. All right, I put that arm up too much. I'm gonna bring the whole Jim Jam down. 2 minutes. Remember when I said 2 minutes? Come on, what are you doing? Sorry. All right, I always tend to go over on these, but I'm gonna try to not. I'm gonna just jump right into color right now. First, we need blue. Of course, we need blue. So if I get no other color, blue is the most important. I had delusions of grandeur when I was doing this. Oh, I'll put his face and then have the blue helmet kind of over it, and then have like the red turbo helmet behind it, and like it'll be this whole thing. Like, what was I thinking? Now I have this on 75% opacity, so you can see using the same color, I'm getting two tones for that reason when I go back over it. All right, let me put some flesh tone in his face bones. Now it'll be kind of a brownish because he is African American, but he's also got like some yellow tones and stuff. So I guess I'll just go in with this first. Also because his head is shaved, but it's like not quite down to the skin. So I'm drawing the skin, but then I'm going to do a layer over it, which will be, yeah, I'm going to cheat because I'm already down to a minute. So I know I'm going to go over for this coloring. But what I was saying is I should have used a bigger brush. Now I can't. I'm so mad at myself. All right, see how I did that? That was stupid. All right, let me go back in. It'll be easier to erase the white than go around the white, is what I was saying. But the brush size, haha. And then the other thing is I was saying with the hair, I will go over with a low opacity of a darker kind of grayish black color. But first I will go in and put some shadow here. And I'll probably need a little bit of highlight. And for the highlight, I'll probably use a little bit more of a yellow beigeish kind of color. And then I need a little pink for the lips and the tongue, etc. Whatever, you get it. You understand how anatomy works, right? And if you don't, you're learning here. It's anatomy time with Gazbot and Telgen Ward. Okay, so I'm overtime. This is what I did in 15 minutes. I should start saying black and white drawing in 15 minutes and then more to follow. So I'm overtime. I'm going to just go ahead and finish up the color. See what I mean? This is at 75% opacity, so you can still kind of see the color underneath, and I'm unhappy with that. I'm going to put it on a different layer. I'm going to make it more black, and then I'm going to lower the opacity once I get it all in here, because it's coming up too much looking like he's got short hair as opposed to a shaved head. And what I should do is draw kind of individual. There, that's better, but I don't have time. And I'll go ahead and put some brown in his eyes, and then I also need to put some white in his eyes, but I will put that up here for the shine so it doesn't look lifeless and dead like a doll's eyes. You hardly ever want to put just all black in a human's eyes. There's always a bit of a shine. Even if there's not a shine, you want to make it have a shine. Okay, let me do some pink for the tongue. And maybe a little bit on his lips. That's too much on his lips. There we go. That's probably a better color. Oh, that's very good. Look at how pinky those lips is. All right, and then I'll do a little bit of blush maybe on his cheek, his nose. Oh, I forgot. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to put the highlight that I talked about, the kind of yellowish, beigeish highlight. But I'm going to put on a different layer, and I'm going to go down to 25%. Yeah, that's good. Kind of brings out his skin tone more, I believe. He's got a little bit of orange and red and other colors in there. I mean, everybody has a million colors in their skin tone, but I'm just going to have to leave that as is. I'll bring it down to 50%. And I'm going to quick do some gray in his jacket, and then I'll throw in a background zipples. And I'm going to make the gray based on a blue, which it looks like it is anyway, but even if it wasn't, to keep it consistent with the Blue Ranger theme. Blue Ranger theme, Blue Ranger theme, Blue Ranger theme, Blue Ranger theme. That's the Doctor Who theme. I had it incorrect. All right, there we go. And I'll just work around these patcherinos. Remember, kids, when doing art, cheat. I've done so much cheating. I've broken my own rules of time. I've broken rules of space. Get it? Space? No, whatever. But as long as you have extra time, use it. And if you don't have extra time, make it. Because you want it to look the best. And that's really all that's important. And while I give myself a challenge, it's not terribly important to me to follow that challenge. It's more important that I do a fun little drawing for everybody. And I get something out of it, and you get something out of it, and Selwyn gets something out of it. Selwyn Ward, first black leader of the... That's not the right tone. Second one, see, I have a sore throat, so I can't do it the correct way. I'll do it my own way. Selwyn Ward, first black leader of the Power Rangers. That's not really my way, but it's a way. It is a way. That needs more gray. Oh, why am I using this thin little garbage? Let's not break my record for cheating. We're 3.5 minutes over. Okay, come on, Gazbot. Get it in gear. This isn't RPM. See, RPM is whatever. Shut up. Pink. Oh, and I did this stupidity to myself where I have to do each color. Red. Yellow. Oh, that's a bad yellow. Yellow. Black. And then speaking of black, this is all black, so that's good. I feel like the outfit I'm drawing on him is going to make it more obvious who he's supposed to be than the actual face, which is to be expected. Okay, now that's pretty much done. I'm just going to put some blue background in to make it super clear. This is the Blue Ranger. I'll do 50% and just kind of, that's not what I want. I want a bigger brush. Yeah. And this is just, there's like a default. Most of my brushes, I have like 4 brushes I've made. Most of them are just the default ones that come with Photoshop CS3, which is the Photoshop version I am using. I bring that down to 50% and then make it like a star. Why not? I just grab stupid brushes. I hate that. I hate that. It kind of makes sense because like in space, but no. I am wasting time a go here. I'm sorry. I'm a bad time management sketcher. Oh, that's kind of neat looking. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Okay. Just give it some kind of pattern that looks like I meant it, which I don't, but it's very in space, like, oh, maybe he just morphed, or he's about to morph, or he demorphed, or I don't know, morph. Just keep using the word morph. That'll trick people into thinking something. All right. I'd like to do more, but I'm way over. I did my 15 minutes and then I'm about 5 minutes over on this extra coloring. So we're going to call it done. Let me zoom in a little bit. And then, yeah, I'm not happy with this. Let it be known. You know what? One thing I'm going to try. I'm going to turn that highlight up to 75. That's a little better. It's a little better. Still terrible. Well, I hope you liked watching me frustratingly deal with this picture of Selwyn Ward. One of my favorite Power Rangers actors plays TJ. This does not do him justice, but I did it. 15 minutes and then 5 minutes of cheating. Thanks. I'm Gazbot. See you next time.